From Bruce Willis's action-packed performance to Milla Jovovich's unforgettable portrayal of Leeloo, The Fifth Element became an icon of its era. But have you ever wondered what the cast looks like now, nearly 3 decades later? In this video, we're taking a fascinating trip through time, from the bold, futuristic world of the 90s to the real-life transformations of 2025. Some stars aged like fine wine, others took surprising turns in their careers, and a few might just blow your mind with how different they look today. Bruce Willis, who played Corbin Dallas in The Fifth Element, was 41 when he took on the role of the rugged, ex-military cab driver who unwittingly becomes the universe's last hope. His portrayal brought a balance of grit and vulnerability that cemented his status as an action icon. Following the film, Willis's career saw both highs and devastating lows. While he continued to headline major films, his later years were plagued by cognitive decline, leading to a heartbreaking diagnosis of frontotemporal dementia. Willis married actress Demi Moore in 1987, and they had 3 daughters, Rumor, Scout, and Tallulah, but divorced in 2000 amid rumors of infidelity and emotional distance. He remarried model Emma Hemming in 2009, with whom he had 2 daughters, Mabel and Evelyn. Despite the appearance of a blended family, tensions often arose between his ex-wife and current spouse, contributing to his growing isolation. Tragically, he struggled with depression, a loss of speech, and long periods of confusion. Financially, his estate is currently estimated at $50 million, significantly reduced from its peak due to medical expenses and halted projects. Now 70, he lives in a private facility under 24-hour care, surrounded by family but mostly disconnected from the world he once captivated. Gary Oldman, who portrayed the villainous Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg, was 39 when he embraced the role of the megalomaniacal industrialist consumed by greed and destruction. His chilling performance became iconic, but the success of The Fifth Element couldn't shield Oldman from the demons lurking behind his brilliance. Now 67, Oldman has been married 5 times, each relationship ending in acrimony. His most turbulent marriage was to actress Uma Thurman, a union marred by addiction issues and emotional volatility that ultimately left both parties estranged. He has 3 sons, Alfie, Charlie, and Gulliver, but maintains strained connections with all of them. Despite his undeniable talent, Oldman's post-Fifth Element career was riddled with erratic choices, alcoholism, and public scandals. At one point, he declared bankruptcy after several failed investments and lawsuits. Though he clawed his way back with awards and acclaim, the emotional scars from failed marriages, legal battles, and loneliness never healed. Today, he lives alone in a modest London flat, his estate valued around $3 million, a far cry from his once glittering fame. Ian Holm, who brought quiet gravitas to the role of Father Vito Cornelius, the devoted priest guarding the secrets of the universe, was 65 during the filming of The Fifth Element. A veteran of both stage and screen, Holmes' dignified presence gave spiritual weight to the film. Yet, behind the camera, Holmes led a life marked by personal turmoil. He was married 4 times, each ending in divorce, citing emotional detachment and infidelity. He fathered 5 children but maintained close relationships with only 2. Professionally, he remained respected, but after a Parkinson's diagnosis in his early 70s, Holmes became increasingly reclusive. He struggled with depression, feelings of irrelevance, and the haunting regret of missed family moments. In his final years, he lived alone in Sussex, visited occasionally by friends and a few children. Holmes passed away on June 19, 2020, at the age of 88 from complications related to Parkinson's disease. His estate was valued at approximately £5 million, much of which was bequeathed to a Parkinson's Research Foundation and his youngest daughter, whom he once called his only true comfort. Milla Jovovich, who played Leeloo, the divine and fierce supreme being, was just 21 when she captivated audiences with her ethereal performance. The role launched her to international stardom, but behind the fame lay years of emotional turbulence. Now 49, Jovovich has been married 3 times, most notably to director Luc Besson, whom she married during the filming of The Fifth Element. Their marriage ended within 2 years amid infidelity rumors and power imbalances on set. Later, she married director Paul W. S. Anderson, with whom she had 3 daughters, Ever, Dashiell, and Ashen, but the pressures of motherhood and relentless filming schedules strained the marriage. They separated in 2023. Jovovich suffered from postpartum depression, substance issues, and public scrutiny over her fluctuating career. Her attempts to reclaim the spotlight often ended in disappointment and harsh media criticism. Though she maintains a social media presence, her personal life remains fractured. She now lives in relative seclusion in the Hollywood Hills, her fortune estimated at $8 million, diminished from earlier success due to legal disputes, real estate losses, and prolonged inactivity in major film roles. Chris Tucker, unforgettable as the outrageous Ruby Road, the high-pitched, flamboyant radio host, was 26 when he stole scenes and divided audiences. His energetic performance was both loved and loathed, but it became one of the film's most memorable elements. Despite the film's popularity, Tucker's career never quite recovered. He turned down lucrative roles due to creative differences and religious convictions after becoming a born-again Christian, which alienated many in the industry. Now 53, Tucker has never married but has one son, Destin, from a brief relationship with casting director India Kirk. The relationship ended in a bitter custody battle that left Tucker emotionally exhausted. Financially, he faced a crushing blow in the late 2000s when the IRS hit him with over $14 million in unpaid taxes. He sold multiple properties and declared insolvency at one point. Though he's returned to stand-up and occasional film roles, the spark that once defined him has dimmed. He now lives modestly in Georgia, giving sermons at local churches and mentoring underprivileged youth. His current net worth is estimated at under $1 million, a sobering end to what once seemed like a dazzling trajectory. Luke Perry, who portrayed Billy, the loyal assistant to Professor Packley in The Fifth Element, was 31 years old when he played the role of the eager young archaeologist swept into a cosmic discovery. Although his appearance in the film was brief, his performance was memorable for its intensity and sincerity. Following the film, Perry struggled to find roles that matched the impact of his earlier fame from Beverly Hills 90210. His career went through periods of stagnation, with a few supporting roles and voiceovers, but he never regained his former status. Perry married Rachel Sharp in 1993, and they had 2 children, Jack and Sophie. The couple separated quietly in the mid-2000s, though they remained on amicable terms. His family life was marred by the pressures of fame and long periods of absence, contributing to emotional distance between him and his children. Perry suffered several private battles, including chronic anxiety, financial mismanagement, and a failed comeback attempt in the early 2010s. Tragically, he passed away on March 4, 2019, after a massive stroke at the age of 52. At the time of his death, his estate was estimated at $10 million. Despite the struggles, Perry was widely mourned, remembered as a humble, soft-spoken man who remained kind to fans and colleagues alike. Brian James, who portrayed General Monroe, the no-nonsense military leader in The Fifth Element, was 52 years old during filming. Known for his gruff voice and commanding presence, James brought authenticity to the role of a hardened general facing the threat of galactic annihilation. After the movie, James's career slowed considerably. Typecast as a villain or authority figure, he found fewer roles in the late 90s and suffered a steady decline in opportunities. Off-screen, James battled loneliness and depression. He was married once, briefly, to costume designer Laura McKinney in the late 1980s, but the marriage ended in divorce after just 3 years. They had no children. His estrangement from his family deepened his isolation, and he became increasingly reclusive. He experienced financial hardships, selling off personal memorabilia and property to pay debts. In the last year of his life, James was diagnosed with cancer, which he kept hidden from the public. He died on August 7, 1999, from a heart attack at the age of 54. His estate was modest, valued at under $150,000. Though he faded from the limelight, James was posthumously honored for his contributions to science fiction cinema, particularly for his unique ability to breathe life into harsh, complex characters. Tom Lister Jr., who portrayed President Lindbergh in The Fifth Element, was 39 years old when he took on the role of the commanding and slightly comedic world leader. His deep voice and imposing frame brought both strength and levity to the character, earning him a cult following. After the film, Lister struggled to find consistent acting work, often taking minor roles or voice parts in animated projects. Though he was known for playing tough guys, his real life was marked by deep vulnerability. He married Felicia Forbes in 2003, and they had one son, Thomas Dwayne Jr. The marriage was riddled with tensions related to Lister's erratic schedule, financial instability, and frequent bouts of depression. His struggles with typecasting, health issues, and legal problems, including a fraud charge, added to his turmoil. He developed vision problems later in life and withdrew from the public eye. Lister died on December 10, 2020, due to complications from COVID-19, at the age of 62. His estate at the time of his passing was estimated to be worth around $500,000. Despite his personal challenges, Lister was remembered as a gentle giant off-screen, admired for his kindness, his strong Christian faith, and his efforts to mentor at-risk youth through public speaking engagements. Lee Evans, who played Fogg, the jittery and over-the-top steward aboard the luxury spacecraft in The Fifth Element, was 33 years old when he brought chaotic comic relief to the screen. Known for his expressive face and frantic energy, Evans delivered a performance that left a lasting impression despite the limited screen time. After the movie, Evans saw a rise in his stand-up comedy career, but acting roles began to dwindle. Struggling with bipolar disorder and stage fright, Evans gradually retreated from the spotlight. He married Heather Nuds in 2004, and they have a daughter, Molly. Though he has kept his family life mostly private, Evans has admitted in interviews to periods of emotional instability that placed strain on his marriage. He has been hospitalized multiple times for mental health concerns and took an extended hiatus from performing in the 2010s. He now lives quietly in Essex, England, away from the public eye, rarely giving interviews. At 61 years old, he maintains a modest fortune, with an estimated net worth of around $5 million, primarily from his earlier success in stand-up comedy. Evans is a private figure today, occasionally writing but rarely appearing in public, living a reclusive but reportedly peaceful life far from the industry that once consumed him. Charlie Creed Miles, who portrayed David, the devoted apprentice to Father Vito Cornelius in The Fifth Element, was just 25 years old when he played the idealistic young priest in training. His performance added a layer of humanity to the film's spiritual subplot. Following the film's release, Creed Miles struggled to break into larger roles, often relegated to indie projects and supporting appearances. Despite some critical acclaim in British cinema, he never achieved mainstream recognition. He had a long and turbulent relationship with actress Samantha Morton, with whom he had a daughter, Esme. The two never married, and the relationship ended amid allegations of emotional strain and conflicting career paths. Creed Miles became increasingly disillusioned with the entertainment industry, citing its superficial nature. He experienced several personal tragedies, including the suicide of a close friend and a brief period of homelessness in 2012 after a failed business venture. Estranged from his daughter for years, they reportedly only reconciled recently. Now 53, he lives in modest circumstances in London, teaching acting workshops to make ends meet. His net worth is estimated at under $250,000. Though his career never reached the heights it promised, Creed Miles is known in theater circles for his raw talent and authenticity, a quiet figure reflecting on a life filled with missed chances and small redemptions. Tricky, who portrayed Right Arm, the loyal and menacing henchman to Gary Oldman's Zorg in The Fifth Element, was 29 years old when he took on the role. His performance as the grim, no-nonsense enforcer added a distinct layer of grit to the film's eccentric universe. Though the role was brief, it showcased Tricky's edgy charisma. After the film, however, his career in Hollywood stalled, with sporadic appearances overshadowed by personal turmoil. He married singer Marina T. in 2001, but the relationship deteriorated quickly due to mutual infidelity and his struggles with substance abuse. They divorced in 2006. He has one daughter, Nyla, born in 2002, with whom he has a strained relationship. His family life has been marred by long periods of estrangement and depression. Tricky has spoken openly about attempting suicide twice in his 40s, financial ruin after a failed independent label, and ongoing battles with anxiety. Now 57, he lives modestly in Berlin, surviving on occasional music royalties and small gigs. His estimated net worth is around $100,000. Despite once being on the brink of global fame, his legacy remains that of a raw talent weathered by pain and missteps, with The Fifth Element standing as a bittersweet reminder of what could have been. John Neville, who portrayed General Statert, the composed and resolute military leader in The Fifth Element, was 72 when he brought quiet authority to the screen. His character, who ultimately sacrifices himself for the greater good, mirrored the sense of purpose that defined Neville's early career. A veteran of British theatre and a former artistic director, his performance was lauded by critics. Yet, post-Fifth Element, Neville returned to smaller, often overlooked roles, feeling increasingly out of sync with modern cinema. Married to Caroline Hopper since 1949, their union lasted over 6 decades, though not without struggles, particularly following the death of their youngest son, Mark, in 2003, which left the family shattered. Neville battled Alzheimer's disease in his final years, withdrawing from public life entirely. His once prolific stage presence faded into painful silence. He died on November 19, 2011, at the age of 86, from complications related to the illness. At the time of his passing, his estate was estimated at $1.2 million, much of it invested in trusts for his surviving children and grandchildren. Though his life ended quietly, Neville's body of work remains a testament to quiet endurance and dignified artistry amid life's storms. Matthew Kassovitz, who played the mugger in The Fifth Element, was 30 at the time, a brief but memorable role where he attempted to rob Bruce Willis's Corbin Dallas, only to fail in comical fashion. Despite his limited screen time, Kassovitz's performance stood out for its manic energy. After the film, his directing career soared briefly with La Haine, but fame brought disillusionment. He married French actress Julie Mauduec in 1999, and they had 2 children, Louis and Zoe, but the marriage ended in a bitter divorce in 2010, fueled by infidelity and career-related stress. He became reclusive, distancing himself from mainstream cinema and reportedly turning down major directing projects due to artistic differences. Kassovitz suffered from depression, a near-fatal motorcycle accident in 2023, and ongoing health issues that have hindered his creative output. Now 57, he lives in a secluded rural home outside Paris, occasionally teaching film, but rarely appearing in public. His estimated net worth is around $800,000, a sharp decline from his early success. Once hailed as a generational voice, Kassovitz now grapples with regret and the isolation of having turned his back on fame in pursuit of elusive artistic integrity. John Bluthal, who portrayed Professor Pacully, the dedicated and eccentric archaeologist who first discovers the ancient alien temple in The Fifth Element, was 68 years old at the time. His warm and inquisitive performance brought a human touch to the film's opening scenes. A seasoned actor known for his comedic timing, Bluthal struggled to find substantial roles afterward, often being typecast in minor comic parts. He married actress Adriana Wilson in 1960, and their long marriage endured many hardships, including the tragic loss of their only child, Michael, in a car accident in 1988. Bluthal fell into deep depression after the loss, and though he continued acting into his 80s, he was never quite the same. He died on November 15, 2018, at the age of 89, from natural causes. In his final years, he lived modestly in Australia, surviving on a small pension and residuals. His estate was valued at approximately $400,000, which he left to a local arts foundation and a charity for grieving parents. Despite the many shadows that loomed over his life, Blithell was remembered fondly by colleagues for his sharp wit, his warmth, and his dedication to his craft even when the spotlight faded. Richard Ashton, who portrayed the imposing and gentle Mondoshawan alien in The Fifth Element, was 31 years old when he took on the physically demanding role. Hidden beneath elaborate prosthetics, his performance as one of the film's mysterious protectors was pivotal to its mythos. However, Ashton's career never fully took off afterward, with most of his subsequent work relegated to background characters and bit parts in sci-fi television shows. He married stage actress Fiona Marsh in 1995, but they separated by 2003 after years of financial instability and creative frustrations. They had 2 sons, Callum and Ezra, who now live with their mother. Ashton faced several personal tragedies, including the death of his father in 2007 and a nervous breakdown in 2010 that temporarily ended his career. He returned to the stage in small regional productions but struggled with alcoholism and loneliness. Now 59, Ashton lives in a modest flat in Manchester and works part-time as an acting coach. His estimated net worth is under $150,000, reflecting a life of near fame overshadowed by missed opportunities and emotional hardships. Though rarely recognized on the street, Ashton holds on to the quiet pride of having been part of a film that became a cult classic. Which character from The Fifth Element, 1997, is your favorite? How do you feel knowing that some of the cast members have passed away? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoy this kind of content, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Thanks for your support.